The Barbie movie is an interesting one.
Yeah.
Because it is clearly a movie that's made for girls and everybody else. But also, it's a Barbie movie. Barbie's appealed to girls. It's like saying Commando was not just for guys.
Right.
You know, with Arnold
There's a few.
Schwarzenegger. I mean, it's probably...
There's a few people on the margins that will like it, right? There's a few lesbians that go to see Commando and they're very into it. Few gay men really love Barbie, but the vast majority, it is gender specific.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's like a tremendous amount of outrage about that movie. And when I went to see it, apparently people are upset at my reaction to it.
Why?
Because I was genuinely surprised that anyone would be upset at the movie.
Right.
Because like it's just what they're mad about is talking about the patriarchy. But first of all, it's a fucking parody movie.
Right.
It's a movie about a doll who comes to life. And you have a doll who lives in that world where the doll's the most important thing. And it's all about Barbie and Barbie's world. Of course, the men would be superficial. Ken is superficial.
Right.
That's the plot. How else are you going to make a Barbie movie where Barbie comes to life? I mean, it's a great juxtaposition, like seeing the difference between the world of living human beings where men are running everything and the world of Barbie world where the Barbies are the Supreme Court and they all wear bikinis on the Supreme Court.
That's funny.
It's funny.
That's funny.
Dude, it's a funny movie, man.
Yeah.
It's like I just don't understand why people would get so upset at this movie that's just not made for them.
Well, because it's how you said it. It's how you make money.
Yeah,
but it's
like
how you make money.
Culture war aspect of it is like, come on, people.
Well, there's I think an idea that that everything that's out right now, there's political implications to everything.
Everything,
and that's kind of exhausting, right? It's tiring, right? Figuring out if your yogurt is woke, like going through your grocery, opening your refrigerator and going, "What's woke? Is the mustard woke?" It's crazy. And I think people are a little sick of it. And I think it's a little, first of all the food's poison. Let's start there. That should make more sense. It should be the barbecue sauce is liquid sugar poison, not does it want trans people, to fucking take their tits out at the White House. It's food. And it shouldn't, but it's a level of wild that, I don't think people were prepared for. I think Bud Light made a little bit of a mess, right?
Yeah.
They put Dylan Mulvaney out there. And then I think people, were kind of like, hey, what's going on? And then it just became a firestorm. And then like everything else is like contagion. Yeah. So it spreads now. And now it's like, well, what is Chick-fil-A doing? Are they doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing? Yeah. It's getting tiring.
Conservatives are trying to find fake conservatives.
Yes.
Like they're engaging in the same sort of behavioral that they accuse liberals doing of these liberal witch hunts.
Yes.
They're doing it with conservatives. Like you could never be woke enough. You could never be conservative enough. Some of them want to call people closet liberals. Or that term rhino.
Yeah.
Republican in name only.
Yes, for sure.
It's the tribal war between human beings that seemingly will always exist.
It'll never end.
It's so fascinating how that mindset just takes new forms, you know, and has the same behavior, the thing that it hated decades earlier, like on the left, like this want for war in Ukraine, this trust in the military-industrial complex in Ukraine. Like, what happened to you guys?
Yeah.
Like, you guys are a totally different thing. Like, no one's discussing.
Every argument made against, rightly, the Iraq war and the Afghanistan war. Like, what's the plan?
Yes.
We're going to be in a quagmire.
Yes.
The money would be better used at home. All of those arguments were used, ad nauseum by people on the left, and they were right. And now if you bring up any of those arguments about the Ukraine, you're called heartless.
It's weird.
You're called a Putin apologist.
It's weird.
So it's weird.
The best take on it was Trump.
Right.
When he was doing that, what is her name? Caitlin Collins? Is that what her name is? The journalist that was asking him, and she was kind of like trying to say in a gotcha way.
Right. Who do you want to win?
Do you want Ukraine to win this war? And he said, I just want people to stop dying. And that is somehow controversial.
Yeah, and that's
because it's coming from him.
Right. Anything that he says, no matter how logical it is, people are going to attack.
100%.
And that was a very logical statement. I just want people to stop dying. By the way, that's the appropriate response to truly, really every war out there.
Yeah.
Is that there's been no war that really hasn't been won with some type of agreement, treaty, compromise, right? Most wars have some type of end game where you can go, okay, we got to split up territory, we got to start a provisional government, whatever it is. Now, this might be more difficult to do that, but at the end of the day, unending conflict only hurts the people in those countries fighting the wars and becoming victims of the wars. They don't hurt the people here making a lot of money.
It's just so sketchy whenever money gets involved.
Yes.
Whenever you're realizing that people have an incentive to keep this rolling to the tune of who knows how many billions of dollars so far. Like, how much has been spent on that war so far?
Oh, my God. I mean, it's over $1 trillion probably. You know, we spent a lot of money. Well, what got me interested, what was why I started to read about it and, you know, was like overnight, the worst people in the world were absolutely in love with the Ukraine. Like the people that, you know, again, the pro-Iraq war, pro-Guantanamo Bay, pro-torture, preemptive war. They all were like very much across the board, the idea that we have to support the Ukraine for as long as it takes and give them whatever it takes. And I felt like that was crazy because we've seen that in the past bite us in the ass a lot of different places. And they all, I mean, these are like the worst people in the world. The people in Beverly Hills who are like, make valets cry, who are like, get my fucking car. Like those people, they all had Ukrainian flags on the outside of their house. But they didn't care about Yemen. They don't care about what goes on in the Middle East in terms of like the Palestinians or, you know, what's happening over there. They don't care about a lot of issues and a lot of places, but they seem to really believe that we had to arm the Ukraine and engage in kind of this proxy war with Russia for an unending period of time, no matter how dangerous it got. And Russia's a country with a lot of nuclear weapons. So, I mean, what is the American national interest in that continued policy? I don't know. Go to any city in America, right? And you see a lot of problems. Homelessness, drug addiction, all of the money we're sending to the Ukraine probably could be used here.